Hello everyone, this is Garrett, and this is the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now off screen I decided to get some extra arrows and bombs because I still had the rupees anyway. And now we are just going to make our way through this little dungeon over here. Now kill these enemies, so this chest appears, which contains the key to open this door. And look out for those little watery turtle thingies that spawn from the water as well. Then walk all the way down and get rid of this block to get key number 2 to open locked door number 2. And this thing is actually kind of interesting since it only shoots fireballs when you're using your sword in any way, including with the dash attack. So be careful hitting stuff around that, but I'm not going to bother with it. Instead, I'm going to get the key over there and go up the stairs to open that locked door over here, where there are some more of these switches, and you can actually break the wall to the left for some bombs and some rupees, I believe. But you can also walk into this thing, which will make the water start rising over there, which will consequentially make the water rise over here as well, so you can swim to this little platform and make your way to the next room. Now this room, you can go south here and you can get the compass over there, but once again I'm not going to bother with it. I am going to go to the left here though, where we are going to find another key in one moment, after getting hit by every single thing in the room. And you can't push this block to the left over there, so don't try bothering to do so. Instead, just get the key and walk back again. And run right into the fire apparently. And did I not get hit there? Oh, that was weird. Whatever, let's just call it magic. I'm gonna go with magic on that one. But yes, make your way back here again and open this door. And hit this thing from behind the thingy. And push this lever thingamabob to make the water rise over there. And you can go down here now with those blue things down, but it is actually, you really shouldn't, and I'll point out why once I get to the point where it is very obvious why you shouldn't. Because it would just seem that you can't just go through here otherwise, but there is a reason why I'm not doing that, which will be very apparent soon enough. But first, we are going to go through this door and run into the spikes for no real reason. And these blocks you can't push, which is exactly what you need to do, and make our way to the staircase up there. Yes, and there's kind of a lot of enemies in here, so gonna have to be a little bit careful. But we have plenty of health, and the boss in here is not that difficult, so push this block. You can't push the one on... There's actually a block to the left side as well, which has that chest, which I believe contains a map, if I remember correctly, but oh well. But yeah, if you have the blue things lowered, then this one will be risen, and you can't actually go to this door. And behind the door is the big key. So yeah, that is pretty much the main reason why you don't want to be here with the blue things lowered and the orange things risen from the ground, because else you can't go there, and that would be rather bad. But yes, I'm running into a lot of spikes this time. I don't know why, but oh well. Make your way back to the large central room thingy again, where the big chest was located. I'm not sure if you saw it earlier, but it was definitely there. Please go away, fire snake thingy. I don't like fire snake thingies. But yes, make your way over here to open the chest to get... Boing! This is the hook shot. It extends and contracts, and boing! It can grapple many things, and that is very true. For instance, it can grapple that thing. And then you can pick up this key that's hidden underneath this block, which is just dandy indeed. I do love keys, and you can also lock onto chests and stuff like that, so that is fairly convenient. So after you're here, make your way all the way to the left of the room, kill that guy, which makes it split into pieces because it's red, and red things do stuff like that. And you can actually hit them with the hookshot whenever they're electrocuting as well, if they're not too close to the wall. But anyway, pushing this button opens this door, but it also actually opens this door, which is the one we need to go through instead. Even though it seems very tempting to go through the other one. And that was close, because most of the time that guy actually hits me, but this time he didn't because he's nice. Then push this lever to make the water go down rather than up, because magically a thing appears. That's pretty convenient. And you can actually go down here, and I believe there's 2 chests with 20 rupees each in them, but I'm not gonna bother. And you can also go through that door, but there's nothing really behind there. Instead, you have to go through this waterfall, and that particular waterfall, in fact. And I guess the main way to find out about that is by going through that door. You can kind of already see this room from the other room. So, yeah, I guess that would be the way to find out about that, and otherwise just mess around, really. But yes. After you're here, swim to the right first, because there is a key in here, and we wouldn't want to go all the way back again. That would be kind of tedious. And you can blow up the wall over there to get some extra power-ups as well, but I'm not going to bother with it. And this is actually the boss where it is actually really convenient to have the tempered sword, because if you don't have the tempered sword, I believe you have to hit all of these things twice rather than just once, and that makes this boss battle kind of annoying. Also, an interesting thing to note is that when you're using the hook shot, you cannot take damage. For some reason, it's kind of an odd mechanic. But after you've gotten all of his things, basically wait until he falls and then hit him twice with a spin dash shot thingamabot. And that is pretty much enough to take care of this boss. So yeah, not the longest dungeon or the hardest boss, definitely not. In fact, I think it's easy to say that this might actually be the easiest boss of the game next to those armored guys from the first dungeon, but there you go. But yeah, it's a neat little dungeon, and we got the hook shot, which is definitely convenient indeed.
Link, because of you I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touches it, as long as that person lives. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. Only a select few knew of its location, but at some point that knowledge was lost. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the Light World. Well, remember that you have magical powers which only the hero can make the most of. There are some other magical warping points like the one you saw on Death Mountain. By using them, you can go between the two worlds and find the evils hidden in the Dark World. You are the only one who can destroy Ganondorf the thief. No, Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Do you understand?
Yes.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
So yeah, she basically mentioned those little wharfs that we've already seen a couple of times, like the one in the forest, which is exactly the one we are going to right now, in fact, because we are going to collect a whole bunch of stuff, and then we are going to go to the next dungeon, as is the case most of the time, really. But yes, just gonna make my way over here first. And just going to go to the Dark World through this portal. You can't actually use the whistle in the Dark World. Well, you can play it, but the duck won't appear, so that's kind of inconvenient, but we'll manage without, I'd say. But yes, after doing that, basically make your way to where Sanctuary used to be, which now is actually just a cave, and I'm going in the wrong direction. But yeah, Sanctuary has pretty much been replaced by just a small cave with someone inside it, but that's actually not where we're going. We're going to go slightly past it to the graveyard, which you may have noticed earlier, although in the Dark World it is not exactly what you'd call a graveyard. It's more a place with things. Yes, that is my very accurate description. Basically, make your way up these stairs over here and go to the Light World. Not right in front of the stairs, because we actually do need to go back to the Dark World in a moment, and odds are you are going to go back to the Light World immediately, because the warp is kind of awkwardly placed. But yes, try to blow up that wall with a bomb to get another heart piece, which is good. I like heart pieces. They keep me alive. And then make your way to the Dark World again, so we can basically jump off this ledge. And then we can go back to the Light World again, because that small ladder over there is not present in the Light World. But we do need to be in the Light World for something else as well. And we have to run into this gravestone thing, which opens this little hole, which contains... This is the magic cape. You are invisible when you wear it. Watch your magic meter. So yes, basically makes you invisible, and we require it for one piece of heart and a certain item, which is exactly what we are going to get right now. I'm just going to get all of this so we don't have to worry about it later. So make your way back again. Now that we have the cape, we can get a certain heart piece we couldn't get before. And I want that heart piece, so that is exactly why I'm going to get it. So make your way up here. All the way up. Kill these two birds because they're meanies and deal like 3 hearts of damage per hit, and that's kind of annoying. And this sign already kind of points it out. "Oh, give a piece of heart to the person who wears the cape." And cape with a capital C. That's how important this cape is. Yes. But yes, you basically need the cape to be able to get that piece of heart up there. So go up the stairs. And you also actually need the hook shot for this. So make sure you have done dungeon number 2, the one we just left. And you basically need the cape to get past this thing. So get past it using the cape. And you are completely invisible and invulnerable when you are using that cape. And then we get the piece of heart, which is dandy. So now we got that. We can go back to the light world again. And the tree that used to be getting cut by the 2 lumberjacks is now slightly different. And when you run into it, it will kind of explode, revealing another little cave with fairy fountain music. I think you can go up there. There's some fairies as well. But there's another heart piece, which increases our life to its maximum once again. And there's 2 more things I'm going to get before going to the next dungeon. And you will soon see what this is. Basically go to location number 1, which is Death Mountain, and it's the one that's selected by default. And make your way up these stairs. Yes, basically make your way all the way up again. All the way up. And go to the right to go through this portal over here, which we have gone through earlier. But we are going to go through it again. Because that's how we roll. And we can actually talk to these guys who will say something different now, actually. "You didn't change your shape. You aren't just a normal guy, are you?" This person, "Wow, your shape didn't change. You got the moon pearl, huh?" And that's exactly what we did get a long time ago. But basically, make your way up here again. And we're going to go to the left over here. And I already mentioned this earlier, but there's another one of these blocks. And if you don't have the Master Sword, you can't actually use this thing. So that's why I'm only getting it now. And hold up the Master Sword and you will get the magic of ether. And we basically need this magic to either freeze enemies, which we will probably never use it for. This is the Ether Medallion. Its magic controls the upper atmosphere and polar wind. Watch your magic meter. But we also need it for something else later, which I will be showing off once we actually get there. So yes, many things to look forward to, but we are going to go through this portal one more time and go down this little thing where we actually need the hammer for. And this is also the reason why I decided to get this cape, because there's kind of a lot of spikes here and I'm going to get hit 8 times before actually using it, because this thing is kind of a mana draining thingy. But there is a chest behind there, and there are coincidentally 8 hearts in all of these things. Well, in each of these things is 1 heart, and there are 8 in total, so that is very convenient indeed. But once we open this chest, we get the Cane of Birna. If you swing it once, a ring of light will protect you. And this is probably not going to be used very often, but it is going to be used to get out of this cave, pretty much. And yeah, basically just wanted to show it off that it existed. And I guess it is kind of useful to have a little infinite health thingy. Yes. But now we got that, we are actually going to make our way to the next dungeon, which will be the dungeon that is hidden in the forest. So, gonna use our whistle again, and going to town one more time. And gonna make our way to the forest again. And gonna slam into that tree. That was not a very good idea, but oh well. Before we do that, I'm just quickly gonna check out if the mana thing in this thing respawned, and it did. That's fantastic. So we get all of our mana back, and we can go to the tree dungeon, which once again is not a very large dungeon, especially not with the path I'm taking, where I'm not really showing off most of the dungeon, but that's because most of the dungeons are traps. So yeah, basically just gonna make my way to the end of the dungeon as quickly as I know. So make your way, make sure not to fall into these holes, because you can end up in rather awkward positions, and we actually need to go through that mad looking door over there before we can really do anything else. So that's why I'm going to go in here first and try to get these mummies killed, because they deal a rather large amount of damage, or gibdos or whatever they're called. And also be careful of another enemy that that guy, which is called the Hand Master or something like that, or the Floor Master, or something like that. It's a hand that falls from the sky and drags you back to the start of the dungeon, and that is rather annoying. Although we just entered the dungeon, so it's not too bad, but it also respawns some of the enemies, so that is kind of annoying, basically. So open this chest to get the big key, and then basically either get grabbed by the hand or just use the magic mirror and go out again, because now we need to go to one of the other entrances, which is this angry... Well, actually, it's just hole. But you can also go through the angry-looking door, but I prefer this one. So, basically, at this point, push this button, which is actually quite important, because if you don't push those stars, then there will basically be a whole bunch of holes in this room, and we don't want that. And then pull this thing, so you can make your way into this direction over here, where the big chest resides. You found a fire rod. This rod commenced a red fire, but watch your magic meter. So yeah, pretty much a fire version of the ice rod, as you may have guessed. Then use your hookshot to go back again, and get out once more, where we should enter the angry-looking face of hell. But we are going back to that angry-looking face. I'm not going to call them doors, because they're just angry-looking faces. Yes. And in here, make your way to the furthest left as you can. And yeah, there's definitely a whole bunch of rooms here we're not going to explore, I'm afraid, but yeah, they're not really worthwhile in my opinion, so that's why I'm not going to bother with it. And there's this scary looking thing, and if we use the fire rod on this thing, then basically a door opens and we can enter the rest of the castle. So go down here and go to the right, then wait for that ball, then go to the right again, and then go to the left to get through that entire... Hard to see. There's actually walls on the other entrances, so yeah, you can't really enter through any other place. Then jump down here, try not to get hit by those mummies, but it happens. And get that one key, and then make your way back once again, using the magic mirror. And I just realized I've still not shown off that bee. I should probably do that at some point. Also, the main difference between a normal bee and the good bee or gold bee is pretty much just that the normal bee will start attacking you after a while, and the good bee won't. So that's kind of good and nice. But anyway, push this star, then push this one, and push this one. Then push these four. This one, and make your way through the door. Kind of an interesting little puzzle there, but not too difficult. And I'm being lazy, so I'm just going to use bombos for this. Actually, I'm going to use ether for this, because I've never actually tried that on these enemies. And I'm kind of curious what happens. And they all turn into popsicles. Lovely. Just what we needed. But yes, basically make your way through this little room. Oh. This is not... Come on! There we go. That cost a little bit more mana than I'd hoped, but there you go. I'm sure we can live with it. And you actually have to be quick, because those fires go out after a while, and you can kind of hear that sound every time one of the torches goes out, so that's... kind of annoying, but there you go. Kind of hoping I can get some more mana off of these enemies. Sadly, I cannot. Anyway, destroy the branches on the top there. And there's some mana for me. And you actually have to kill that mummy over here. And I'm getting hit rather a lot to get the key. And after you get the key, make your way through this locked door. And the bottom of those two stones contains arrows, and this one contains a little bit more mana, which is useful for the boss we are going to fight right now, which is this moth thing, which is also not too difficult, but basically you just have to hit it a bunch of times with your fire rod, or with your sword after your mana has run all the way out. I'm gonna try not to get hit too much, basically try to not get hit by those spikes as well, which kind of makes this boss a little bit trickier, but overall, it's not too difficult in my opinion. And I'm gonna have to use the sword. I think I have to hit him one more time. Something like that. Come on. Die, 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 die. There we go. Kind of reckless at the end there, but oh well, it worked, and this is not a very difficult boss in my opinion. So get the heart and get the crystal, and live happily ever after.
Link, because of you I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. Do you know the prophecy of the Great Cataclysm? This is the way I heard it. If a person who has an evil heart gets the Triforce, a hero is destined to appear, and he alone must face the person who began the Great Cataclysm. If the Evil One destroys the hero, nothing can save the world from his wicked reign. Only a person of the Knights of Hyrule, who protected the royalty of Hylia, can become the hero. You are of their bloodline, aren't you? Then you must rescue Zelda without fail. Do you understand?
Yes.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
So yeah, that was the forest dungeon, and as such, I'm going to take a little break. So I hope you enjoyed it so far, and I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.